starters, you definitely are going to want to have power armor. The power armor is one of the probably most prevalent things for this DLC. You want to have at least 2 suits. And the reason being is because you want to have one for yourself and one for a companion that you may want to take. And if you're not aware already, when you do the first mission for the Minutemen in Concord right here, which is I believe the second mission or third mission in the game, this is where it starts, and you can get up some power armor from up there on the roof of a building. And to get the second power armor, which isn't in the quest line, you can find some power armor. I believe it's at right around in here at this lake area type spot. If not, then it's in one of the lakes in this area. I'm pretty sure it's this one right here near a vertebrate wreckage. So that's where you can find the 2 suits of power armor. And if you don't want to take power armor, your next best option is to take lots of weaponry and something like a robot like this. As you can see, I'm taking this robot, like I'm taking the one with the different customizations on it with like I forget what these customizations are called, but if we just go to the workbench, you'll see I called my robot the Terminator because this is probably by far one of the best robot builds you can make. And I'll just quickly go over mine in case you want to do that too, but you might be like a lower level and not have as much ability to craft as many customizations as me, so
perhaps you should go first.
This is what I have. As you can see, I don't really have anything in special mods. For the head, I have the sentry head and the crusher helm. Then the torso, I have the sentry torso right here. And then for the left arm, I have the sentry left arm, the serrated plate, and the minigun. And for the right arm, I have the sinister serrated plate and the missile launcher. And for the legs, I have sentry legs, storage plate, primal storage plate, Vault-Tec frame, and another primal storage plate. And for the voice, it's really up to you what you want it as. I have mine set to this one. I mean, you could really choose whichever one you want. Oh, and just like a quick note, never use the sentry voice. It's a really nice voice for robots, and I usually like to go for that one, but there's a glitch with this voice where when you equip it on your robots, they don't accept the commands like self-destruct and all that other stuff for some reason. So I'm not sure if it's a glitch or if that was on purpose or what, so just watch out for that. And for paint, I usually use paints that are like brighter so I can see where my robot is at all times. Because sometimes they can like get out of your sight and then you gotta go looking for them, and it makes it a little bit easier because there aren't very many orange things in the wasteland. And also, in other things for torso, before I forget, as you can see, I have the hydraulic frame, the rear Vault-Tec frame, and now I have the Fat Man launcher, and then I have the right shoulder launcher, and then the Tesla coils. You don't have to get the unstable Fat Man launcher. You can get the 2 of the shoulder launchers or any of the other options. As you can see, there aren't very many, so that's why I grabbed the shoulder launcher and the Fat Man launcher. But as you can see, the Fat Man launcher is broken right now because it's not equipped, and now it is. Oh wait, no, never mind, I think I just messed that up. So now I have 2 Fat Man launchers. Yeah, that's what I did. Well, that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, but I'll fix that later. I wasn't paying attention there, but oh, there we go, now I fixed it. But anyway, just go with this kind of build because it's just one of the best builds that you can really make, I suppose. I mean, if there's something else that you like, you could always do that build, but I personally like this build because it pretty much obliterates everything, and I rarely have to use a robot repair kit on this guy. Of course, sometimes because of his size, he does glitch in the air sometimes like that, so that is a bit of a problem, as well as he doesn't fit through normal doors. So, as you can see right now, he tried to get through the door just real quick there, and he couldn't. So I just let him teleport around. And then, pretty much, just in general, make sure you have a lot of ammo on you before the DLC tomorrow, because, as you can see, if we go into my inventory and then aid here, oh not aid, ammo, there we go. If we go in here, you'll see I have a whole bunch of different assortments of ammo. And also, make sure you have a lot of fusion cores. You're going to need those if you're going to take power armor. And as you can see, I have a couple of mini nukes. There aren't like very many, but I have a few of them because I've been using the iBot pod to get those. And if you're not sure what the iBot pod does,
some sort of medical problem here, or are you
first of all, you go to the Mechanist's lair, and then you go back into the Mechanist's lair type bedroomish area, and then you can get the schematics for this. And these are the materials: copper, circuitry, aluminum, fiber optics, and nuclear material. So you might want to make sure you have those before you try and build this, and this is basically what it does. You go in here, and then it'll say scan for components, ammo, and explosives, and sometimes, for whatever reason, when I come in onto this terminal, it'll basically like give me other options, like the options for the normal terminal for some reason, and sometimes it doesn't, so I don't know why it does it. It must just be some kind of glitch. But as you can see, you can get things like nuclear material, copper, aluminum, all the like rare stuff, and then for ammo you can get like totally different assortments of ammo, and obviously it's not going to have every kind of ammo, just like there isn't every material here. As you'll notice, there's no rubber, there's no other types of materials, so you're not going to get everything with that. And also there are different types of explosives, and just so you don't go wasting your time, like with things like baseball grenades or anything like that, you'll get a fair amount of those, but if you go and try and get a nuka grenade, they're only going to give you like one or two of them at a time, because they don't want to overpower you. But if you're really looking for a lot of explosives, go for the when you're using these, go for the missiles, because whenever I'm searching for missiles with this, I get like 14 to 20 missiles in one go. So if you really want explosives, go for the missiles. And also, like, if you really want copper, you're probably better off just buying it from a vendor or something, because I mean, yeah, if you really need it and you don't have much money, you could go for this, but you only get like 4 copper maximum, and at minimum 1 or 2 pieces when you do this. So it's really all up to you, but I mean, that really does help when you're low on materials and like, you know, other stuff. So this way you have enough materials for the DLC, because I've basically just been compiling materials and then putting them all into this settlement. And I know that the DLC is going to have plenty of materials, but just in case if I run out, I can just come over to this workbench, take all my materials with me, and then fast travel back to the other place. And if you don't have the fast travel while over encumbered, then you're not going to be able to. So make sure that if you try and fast travel, you have that perk enabled, or else you're not going to be able to carry all of the junk in one workbench to another. Or just have a robot take it, and then you're good to go, and then fast travel that way. So then if you're out of, like, say, rubber, and you have like 300 rubber in another settlement, you can just transfer it. And that kind of gets me to my next point. As you probably are aware, I mean, most of you probably play this game a lot, so you have all different settlements unlocked. And most of you probably have a lot of settlements that you don't even use. Like for me, I only use Sanctuary and a few other settlements. Like, I only use Sanctuary, the island a little bit, and I sometimes will use some of the other settlements. So if you really want to get the most out of your materials, then just go to any other settlement on the map and then transfer the materials from one workshop to another.
You spelled tech wrong.
Don't care much for good neighbor. That place, nothing but.
And then also, just in general, make sure that you have all of your weapons and stuff ready, because as you can see, if I go into here, I have a couple of other spare weapons just laying around. So make sure that you have that, so if you run out of ammo or if you need a different weapon, you have that available. And also, if you're going to take a companion versus a robot, make sure you do take a robot, because the robots don't count towards the companion thing, so you don't have to waste anything. So for example, maybe you have the travel without a companion perk, then that'll work with a robot. And as you can see, with my power armor, I have upgraded it a little bit here and there, because I just want to get every little bit out of it for when the new DLC does come out, so make sure that your power armor is all upgraded. And also, like, if you really want to make sure that you have enough materials, then make sure you go into your workshop and then just do a quick double check at all your stuff and make sure you have enough stim packs and different kinds of junk. So if you do need to transfer stuff over, then you know you're ready, because you don't want to have to transfer stuff over and then go into a workshop and realize there's nothing in there when you thought you had like 30,000 pieces of steel or something. It's not gonna go out very well like that. And there are just many different ways you can prepare. I mean, I've pretty much shown you almost all of the different options you have. There really aren't many other things you can do other than that. And yeah, you could go to Diamond City, because if we just fast travel there real quick, there are a whole bunch of different things you can do there alone to prepare. Okay, there we go. If we go here, it is kind of dark, so I don't think going out, never mind, it's just before they close probably, but anyway. If you go to Arturo or any of the other options, there are many different materials, as I said before, so you can just
I'll take a look.
press barter, and some of these are expensive, so you might want to make sure you have enough caps. But if you want to find the stuff quickly, then just go to junk, and then some people will have just the shipments and other people will have multiple things you gotta sort through. So then just scroll down into the S's and then just continue down. So as you can see, he does have copper and aluminum, and you're going to be using a lot of copper with the new DLC. And from what I've seen with the stream on Bethesda's channel, there's going to be a lot of different things involving like different things like rubber and steel are going to be the most used materials, because that's what the
Don't
Vault
walk outside
pieces
the
are
wall
made out of, I
undefended.
assume.
High quality protection for
And
sale.
he'll sell wood. I mean, you're probably not going to care too much about that, but you never know, you might need it. And if you want to get steel, she's the one to get the steel from. But if you do end up going and grabbing materials out of another workshop, make sure that you grab it out of either a place that you know you're not going to care too much about, or make sure that you know what you're doing, because then next thing you know, you go into a settlement and you're wondering where all your materials are, and then you remember that you used them at a different settlement. And now involving like getting rid of settlers and then transferring them into the vault, that's pretty easy, and there is a guide on YouTube. Go to this guy's channel named Oxhorn, Oxhorn, I'm pretty sure it's spelled, and you can just go over to that guy's channel and he has a tutorial on it. I'm not gonna take that away from his channel because it's basically his idea and I don't steal other YouTubers' ideas, but if you want to go to his channel and check it out, feel free. It's just a tutorial on how to get max settlers, because you can use charisma to gain more settlers, so instead of having like 18 or 21 maximum, you can get like 30 something settlers. So if you want to check out that guy's channel, feel free, because he has a better tutorial on it than I'd probably be able to ever make. And as you can see now, pretty much everyone went in, so yeah.
We're having a sale on food.
So if we just quickly go
got a
into
few
his
minutes to browse.
The
inventory.
highest quality available.
I mean, you guys could probably just go and check out what he sells by yourselves, but I'm just trying to save you the trouble so you can see exactly what they sell. So as you can see, these are the shipments. He has adhesive, ceramic, and concrete, and he has a little bit of fertilizer and plastic springs, steel. He's got all kinds of stuff. Now the ones you're going to want the most are probably going to be adhesive, ceramic, and maybe a little bit of plastic, but mostly the steel. And as you can see, he sells a lot of steel. You can get 4 shipments of 100, so that's 400 steel, so you might want to take that while it lasts. And in terms of upgrading your weapons to get the most out of them, you're just going to want to, because the more damage, the better. So as long as you've got a good character with a lot of strength, you should be okay, because then you can just carry a whole bunch of heavy weapons and then you can just obliterate through everyone. But if you're a character based on like stealth, then you should still be okay, but most likely you're not going to want to go any other way, either stealth or just all out war with the enemy. So yeah. Actually, I think I'll demonstrate just real quickly what this robot can do if we just, where would there be a good spot for raiders? Let's see. I'll just fast travel somewhere where enemies would probably be. I'm pretty sure I cleared out most spots. Well, I mean, I know that they do spawn back in sometimes, but who knows? And also, if you're worrying about like nuclear material because of the new reactors and stuff that you'll be able to build for the Vault, don't worry, because there's going to be a ton of new nuclear material. There's going to be a whole mine full of it that you can clear out. Okay, let's just, well, I guess we could just go here, and then if there's no enemies there, then I'll just walk around till we find someone so you can see what this robot build can do. And now, as I was mentioning before, you do need to make sure that that you keep an eye on your robot's mini nuke launcher, because there are points in time where it will break. I mean, even though even though it sounds like it'll break a lot quicker, it really doesn't break all that much. I've actually gotten to like go through hours of gameplay without any issue whatsoever with that Fat Man launcher breaking. And then I've also had times where it breaks like literally the second I get onto the battlefield, so yeah, you may want to watch out for that. But you'll know when it does break, because when you go to your, there really is no actual way to tell, as far as I know, unless you go to your workshop. So when you go to your workshop, just make sure that you double check on the Fat Man launcher to make sure that it's still equipped. Alright, so let me find some enemies. Yeah, this looks pretty much like a spot where there at one point were enemies. Yep, there are definitely enemies here. Actually, I'll just let my robot do everything. Yeah, see, he's already going nuts on these guys. And I don't need to worry about these grenades, because these grenades are coming from my robot there. And there will be times where if he's under too much fire, the robot will break, but for the most part, as you can see, he's perfectly fine. Because as long as like you're not being pelted by thousands of enemies, it's perfectly fine. Probably shouldn't have done that, because there's only an 8% chance, but it's whatever. So as you can see, this robot is doing an awesome job. And as you can see, there are some grenades that are being thrown over here, and they're not from the robot, but if you see grenades and there aren't too many enemies around you, then it's most likely because of the robot. And as you can see, there is now one of these things missing, but don't worry, that's just because over time, as you get stamina, these things will come off, but when you repair them like this, it's fine. So as you can see, he did go down there, but for the most part, he'll be fine. So this is like a huge, large-scale battle there. So as you can see, if you took a normal robot into this, they die almost immediately. But if it's like in an enclosed building where there are enemies totally separated about, there's no chance they'll go down at all. But in this sort of situation with enemies around every corner, the robot's really put everything he's got, so. Well, I can't get to that. There we go. Just shy of the reticle or whatever there. So let's just get rid of this thing first. My robot's not even for that. So for the most part, you're gonna be okay. Every now and then, occasionally, I'm not gonna lie, he does go down, but like I said, it's not very often, so you don't need to worry. And as you can see, he's got a missile launcher here, he's got the minigun there, and then he's got the cluster bombs in one of these slots, and then the mini nuke in the other slot. But if your robot doesn't use the mini nukes very often, then you might want to check on the status of the mini nuke launcher just to make sure that it's not broken or something happened to it. So as you can see, I didn't really touch anything. I only took down a turret, and already this place has gone from like probably 20 or 30 enemies to 5 or 6, so I think that speaks for the robot itself. So I don't really need to show anything too much about that. So yeah, there are definitely still enemies lurking around, but they shouldn't be too much of a big deal. And also, just in general, even if you don't have enough of a perk to get the heavy armor stuff on your robot, as long as you still have the ability to create one of these robots, I encourage you to, but make sure it's heavy like mine, because if you have one of the smaller robots, they're kind of fun and they're kind of nice to mess around with. But if you have a giant one like this, that can just do all the work for you and then some, then just make one of these robots, because I'm not doing anything and yet he's killing everyone. But whenever I carry a normal robot, like, I mean, not carry one, but you know what I mean, whenever I take a normal robot with me, it doesn't go too well because I'm always constantly repairing them. So as you can see, he's just going nuts on this guy. I might as well help the robot out at the very least so he's not doing that, but as you can see, I mean, this guy stands no chance. If that guy wasn't up there, then he'd be dead by now. So as you can see, the robot is still up and running. There's nothing going on with him. So I think that speaks enough for him. Now there really isn't much else that I can show you to prepare for the DLC other than make sure you have, the bottom line is just make sure you have a lot of ammo, make sure you have a lot of materials, because even though there are going to be a lot of materials lying around in the vault to build with that are already there aren't going to be a lot of them, and for the most part you're going to be using them up pretty quickly, so just make sure that you keep a lot of materials and make sure that you have at least 2 sets of power armor in case you don't want to take a robot and you want to take a human companion, because I know that a lot of people are going to want to take Nick because he's just usually good with those kinds of things, but I already reached his max affinity, so I don't really need to pay too much attention to that, so yeah. So I guess that's pretty much it. So if you like this video, like it, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.